Good morning, students. You know that we have completed the chapter force. Now we have to study the next chapter. Chapter name is friction. This topic you have studied in the previous chapter in the types of force, that is, it is a type of contact force you have already studied. But here in this chapter we will study it in detail, that what is friction, what is the cause of friction, what are the types of friction, what are the advantages, disadvantages, etc. But in this video we will study only what is friction and what is the cause behind frictional force. So let us start. The first condition for frictional force, as you know, that is the two surfaces in contact. When there will be two surfaces in contact, then only the frictional force will occur. Let us see how with the help of following examples. This is the table surface of the table. Suppose on the surface of the table one block is kept, one book is kept, or one box is kept, whatever. And you are applying force in this direction to move this block. But this block is not moving. What does it mean? It means that there is something which is opposing its motion. कुछ ऐसा है जो इसको आगे जाने से रोक रहा है. And that something is equal to this force. Suppose I am applying 2 Newton of force to pull this object towards my side, but it is not displacing. It means in opposite direction. Same amount of force is acting, which is stopping the object to move from its position. And this force which opposes the motion of an object, which stops the object to move, is known as frictional force, and it is denoted by Fr. Let us see with this example. There is a book in my hand and a duster is kept on this book. Two surfaces are in contact with each other. This is the first requirement. I am applying force on this duster, but this duster is not moving from its position. Why? Because the net force is 0. You have already studied balanced force. I am again applying some amount of force to move it. Still it is at rest. It means there is something which is acting in just opposite direction and stopping its motion, not letting it to move. And this is known as frictional force. So frictional force we can say friction is the force created between two surfaces in contact when in relative motion or intention of motion. There are two words here, relative motion and intention of motion. Firstly, let us understand these two words. Second example, a car is moving on the road and the car is moving with some velocity or speed, and the car is moving in this direction. When driver applies a brake, what will happen? The car will stop, or the speed of the car decreases. And again, a force will exert between the two surfaces. Now, what will be those two surfaces? The surface of the wheel of the car, this point, wheel of the car, and the road surface, they are in contact with each other. So, frictional force will occur in this direction. Car is in motion. When we applied the force, it gets stopped, and frictional force will occur between the point of contact, that is the wheel and the road surface. Now, third situation, intention of motion. Intention मतलब हम कहते हैं we have not done this thing intentionally. It means मैंने जानबूझ के नहीं किया. Intention of motion means जिस तरफ वो motion करना चाहता है. So again I am taking example. This is a duster and I am applying a force on the duster. This is a duster and I am applying force on the duster. Okay. This is the wall and this is a box or a duster. I am applying force on a duster so that the duster will not displace or it will stick in the walls. But there will be some weight of the duster or the box, and you know that the weight is gravitational pull of the earth. It will act in downward direction and it will be mg. If we will remove this force, the duster will fall in which direction? I am applying force on the duster, and if I remove this force, it will fall down. Okay, it means its intention of motion is vertically downward, and the direction of the frictional force is always opposite to the direction of motion. ऐसा नहीं है कि I am applying force in this direction, तो frictional force will occur in this direction. No, this will be wrong. If we remove this force, the duster will fall down. So intention of motion duster का किधर है? नीचे की तरफ. So जिधर motion object करना चाहता है, the frictional force always act in the opposite direction because it opposes the motion. So we can say that it is the force created between the two surfaces in contact when they are in relative motion or intention of motion. Now, what is the cause of friction? Why does it occur? So, the cause of friction is the nature of the material and the roughness of the surface. If the surface is rough, if the road is rough and you throw a ball, the ball will stop after some time. But if the surface is smooth, the ball will continue and it will not stop. It will stop after some time. It will take more time as compared to the rough surface. So if the surface is rough and 2 points come in contact with each other, they interlock each other. And when they interlock each other, friction is more. And if surface is smooth, friction is less. So we can say that friction depends upon the roughness of the surface, and this is also known as irregularities. This is also known as irregularities. And one more thing, friction can never be reduced to zero. Remember this thing. If you think that we will polish the surface and it will become over smooth, so friction will not occur. So this is wrong view. Because if we see with our naked eye, it seems to be smooth, but actually there will be some irregularities. There will be some roughness if we see it under microscope. So if the surface is rough, friction will be more. If the surface is smooth, friction will be less, but friction can never be reduced to zero. Thank you.